Welcome back, Addicts. Today we're coming at you with a movie review, and today we're going to be talking about Upgrade. I'm going to let Michael go into the characters.
So, there's several characters in the show that are really important. You have Gray, who's basically the main character. He's going to be the guy dealing with tragedy in his life and getting an upgrade. There's going to be Stem, that is the AI, who is an interesting character, and we'll learn more about how he plays into the story and the plot summary. We have Cortez, the cop, who is trying to figure out what's happening with all these bad occurrences and murders that are happening around the city. We have Aaron, basically the individual who made STEM, the AI, a genius. We have Fisk, who's basically one of the antagonists of the movie. He is paramilitary, and he is deadly. So he's kind of coming into contact with Gray, the main character. And then we have Pamela, Gray's wife, who we see through several scenes in the beginning, and she plays a major role as to what happens to her in the plot. So with that, we can turn over to Josh talking about the plot.
Okay, so getting into the plot, I'm not going to go into too much detail, so I'll kind of keep it as vague as possible. But basically, all you need to know is Gray and Pamela have a accident which leaves Gray to become a paraplegic, and that kind of puts him in a downward spiral where he's questioning life and how much it's worth it, which he basically gets to a crossroads where he meets his former customer, Aaron, who comes with him with a proposal of a new technology that could bring back his mobility, which is quintessentially the installment of STEM, enabling him to walk. So we basically go through that. We see STEM and Gray kind of get this paired up, kind of like one of those like co-op movies where it's like, oh, like, I have a partner, but I don't like my partner at first.
Yeah, it's like a buddy cop.
It's almost like a buddy cop type thing. And the humor in it is something that plays into it throughout the movie. But we basically go through as Gray's trying to get revenge for the act that was upon him, tracing down Fisk and like all these other characters, trying to figure out what exactly is going on, what's the bigger picture, why they did this, and obviously to stop them. We also get Cortez mixing into this, trying to figure out how Gray is involved, but being a paraplegic, how he's able to do any kind of involvement type thing. So that's basically how it is, and I would say the theme doesn't change much. Maybe towards the very end it changes a little bit, but overall that's about what it is. So, Michael, do you want to go into what were some things that you really liked about this?
Well, I had several favorite moments looking back at the film. I think the moments with Fisk, when after he knows that someone's coming after him and he's kind of coming after Gray. Some of the moments, especially with the bartender, how he resolves that situation. We also have like a semi-torture scene in the film that's interesting. Some of the dialogue that Gray has whenever he's first upgraded and then is dealing with being super fast and being able to fight with the power of a computer. Those moments are pretty great. I really liked. Towards the end, I liked the couple twists that they have in the movie, where you get to find out why, figure out why it's happening and why he's getting upgraded, and what's the whole story with, him becoming the way he was, and then you get to learn more about just some of the core characters as well. I liked the antagonist in this movie. I like the hacker girl. She's pretty interesting, even though we never really found out what she was fighting for. But
she's kind of just there for a few minutes. There was a lot of things that I liked. They're more of just aspects and, well, I don't know. Specific scenes I really like any point where Gray and Stim are going back and forth. The guy who plays Gray is Logan Marshall Green, which if you haven't seen him, he is an amazing actor. Very, I would say, underused in Hollywood, but he's got an amazing charisma that definitely shines in this movie, especially in some of the more lighthearted moments that have a sense of comedy to him. But he's around like a well-rounded actor, so he can pull off those funny comedic scenes, but then also the action-heavy back-to-back, which I did really like the action in this. It's filmed really well. It does have kind of a uniqueness to it. I don't think it lives up to the claims where they said it was, like, revolutionary. I would definitely say it was unique, but I wouldn't say it was one of a kind. But with that being said, I thought it was really good. The way that the fights are choreographed, it really does look like a AI or a robot is doing it, which is basically what if you look at the plot, that's what they're wanting to go for. But I thought, I always really enjoy movies that have a sense of realistic gore to them, and this is a movie that doesn't shy away from blood and things exploding. And that's part of one of the things that I really enjoyed about any of the fight scenes or, interrogation and whatnot. There are, like Michael said, there are a couple twists throughout the movie and towards the end. And I really, when we look into it, we do see a few problems, but overall I did like it when I was watching through it. There was some hints towards some of those twists that if you pay attention closely, you will see them, and I did like the incorporation of that. But I wanted to ask you, Michael, do you think that it lived up to the praise that it was giving, and then how would you rate this based on all of the stuff that happened in the movie, both how they filmed it and then also story-wise?
Well, as far as living up to the hype, I think for an original movie, it's one of the best of the year because we really haven't had many of those. There's a lot of superhero movies are great, but they're they have source material. I don't know if this one does or not.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, but I think the action was really great. I liked the plot in general was really great. Again, we had some plot holes, and sometimes I liked how they showed how could I say this? I like how the action was shown that the AI was controlling it, so it's stop and start and almost like a dance kind of.
Yeah, that's really good.
But I think if there was one or two more fight scenes, or if they were going to make a second movie, I think I'd get tired of that. Because I think the best fight scene in the movie is one where it's more traditional. I can't really say between the two characters towards the end for spoilers, but it's more of a traditional fight scene between two people going at super fast speeds. I think that was the best, or my favorite fight scene. As far as my recommendation for this, I think if you like sci-fi movies, especially it goes into the future, you have self-driving cars in this one, and smart houses, which are kind of disturbing when you think about it. But if you like that kind of stuff, especially the twists in the movie and the action, I think it's one of my favorite movies so far this year. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10 if I had to rate it, and I'd recommend it to anyone who kind of likes that genre, likes sci-fi, likes kind of the thriller-ish genre, likes the action and the gore and stuff. They actually have both knives and gun gore, so yeah, that would be my recommendation for the movie. What about you?
Well, I think you pretty much nailed hit the nail on the head. There was overall, I really enjoyed the story and the way they filmed it. I thought it was good. It was definitely a fresh change in pace, especially lately, because like Michael said, there hasn't been a whole lot of original movies that have come out that I've personally really liked. Of course, we do have a couple other ones that we're gonna review later on that are coming out, but I thought it was definitely one of the better movies I've seen this year. I would definitely rate it an 8. I would have rated it higher, but when it got to the very end and we see basically the whole story unfold, and and we're kind of talking about it back and forth on some of the plot things, that did bump it down to me. So I think overall I would say, because we were talking about this, sir, I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than Michael did, but after talking about it, I had to rate it more along the same lines as he did, because of just some of those aspects of the story. But if you're not somebody that really analyzes movies too well, and you're just there and you're just engaged in the story, and after you see the story, you don't really dwell on it too much, you'll probably really enjoy it. I would definitely recommend it, like Michael was saying, if you have have a love for sci-fi and kind of like a mystery to your movies. Yeah, I would say don't get overhyped for this movie. I know there wasn't too much surrounding this movie, but it was getting a lot of praise in like reviews or like articles and stuff like that. And I would say try to avoid that. Just try to go in not expecting much and just let it take you on a ride that's really intriguing for this kind of genre. But yeah, I would say it's definitely worth a watch. And if you even have to get to the point where you have to like pay to like rent it or something like that, I would still say it's worth the rent.
Well, that pretty much sums up for our review of Upgrade. We'll be seeing more movie reviews on the channel. We'll be doing more in the near future. I think we're out to see Incredibles here pretty soon. Incredibles 2. And
that's like, what is it, like 10 years in the making at least?
Yes. So we'll have many more reviews on movie reviews specifically on the channel. And as always, Addicts, we'll see you next time. And stay tuned for more content.
All right. See you later, Addicts.